Hey, welcome. Today it's time for today's tax talk. I'm your host. I'm attorney Stephen Leahy. It is Wednesday, November 1st, the year of our Lord 2023. I get a lot of questions I hear everybody talking about moving from Illinois to Florida. A lot of people are doing it. A lot of people are bailing out of Illinois. And some people have this idea that if they just do 186, I think it's a 186-day rule or something, that everything's going to be good and they can stop paying taxes. Anyway, that's what we're going to talk about today. You won't want to miss it. If you're thinking about this, you won't want to miss this. Won't you join us? Okay. So again, people keep asking me this question and I get it a lot. And so we put together a checklist. And so if you want a copy of the checklist, you can get in touch with me and I'll give you a copy of the checklist. But this 186-day rule, everybody's counting days. If I just stay in Florida for 6 months plus 1 day, I'm now a resident of Florida, and that means I don't have to pay Illinois income tax, and everything's good. And I have to tell you, that's just not the way it works. Things that are in Illinois much more difficult than that. Here in Illinois, they talk about domicile, not residency. There's a difference, right? Most non-lawyers don't know this, right? They don't think the difference between a domicile and a residence, because I could be a resident in a state and not be domiciled there, right? I could change my residency, maybe, for instance, here in Illinois, to get in-state tuition. If you're an independent student, you need to live in Illinois for 12 months before the beginning of the semester. You need 12 months, and then you're a resident of Illinois. But if you simply moved to Florida for 12 months, even if you stayed there for the whole 365 days, you wouldn't qualify necessarily as changing your domicile, right? So domicile is defined as, and I have it here, refers to a place where an individual has a permanent home and to which they have an intention of returning. And so this is really what Illinois is saying. Hey, you're Illinois. You're from Illinois. You might be changing your residency. You could change residency often, but you can't change your domicile because you're from Illinois. Your family's from Illinois. You may come back to Illinois, and so you got to pay taxes here in Illinois. And so that people say, wait a minute, how do I change my domicile then? Again, with residency refers to the place where an individual currently lives, even if it's temporary. And unlike domicile, an individual can have multiple residents in a year. That's from what I wrote here in the description here. So again, to change your domicile, you have to show that you're never going to come back to Illinois. You're not moving temporarily to Florida. You're moving there forever. That's your forever home. Now, many people that I've talked to about this, they're not only, they call it, I'm a snowbird. I go to Florida for 2 or 3 or 4 months a year, and so I just go there for 6 months, and everything will be good. And I still have my home here in Illinois, and I have my business here in Illinois. Everything's still here in Illinois, but I'm going to change it to Florida, so I don't have to pay the 5 point whatever it is now. and remember, now Florida doesn't have a state income tax. And so if you move to Florida, you'll save yourself a ton of money, right? And these are generally high income people, just the people that Illinois doesn't want to see leave, right? So they're if you stop paying taxes here in Illinois, they will take action, right? They'll start collecting. And I've represented many people who moved to Florida. It seems like I don't know if I represented anybody from another state, but generally Florida, who people move to Florida, and then Illinois comes knocking and say, hey, wait a minute, you owe us money. You've got to pay taxes. And so there's things you can do. So there's like what they call badges of domicile, or what I call badges of domicile. And so I have a checklist here, right here, and I put together some. And so I'm just going to name a few. But if you want a copy, you can get in touch with me, and I'll be happy to get you a copy of this checklist, right? So file a Florida declaration of domicile in a local county clerk's office. Now, this is an easy thing. Florida's making it easier for you. They made this available where you can get a declaration of domicile, and you file it, right? But then you pay Florida tangible property taxes. Here's a big one though. Change your homestead from Illinois. If you still live in Illinois, you have a home in Illinois, and then you keep getting the homestead exemption, well, you've said that that's where you live. And so you've determined that Illinois is your residency and your domicile, right? So you have to change that too. File federal income tax with the IRS center in Atlanta and not the one that Illinois uses. Transfer safe deposit contents. Execute a new Florida will claiming Florida as a domicile and refer to Florida residents in all deeds. Where feasible, have family gatherings and social activities centered in Florida. Change your address on your passport. Transfer works of art. Register your automobile in Florida. Sell your Illinois residence and purchase a residence in Illinois. Now, again, many of the people that I've talked to, they own a residence in both of them. They've had a place in Illinois. They have a place in Illinois. They've lived in Illinois most or all of their life, but they have had a house in Florida for many years in some cases. So there's lots on this list. I'm not going to go through the whole list. There was a recent case, wasn't from Illinois, but where someone, just the fact that they kept funding politicians in the old state where they used to live, that was enough to keep their domicile. And so you never know. You could do all of these things on this checklist and still get questioned and maybe even lose that appeal about whether you are domiciled in Illinois. The more of these badges that you have, the more likely it is that you would pass muster. But there's no guarantee. There's no exhaustive list. Well, if I do this, this, and this, and this, I will be assured that Illinois will say, "Oh, you don't live in Illinois anymore. You're not domiciled in Illinois anymore." So anyway, it's important to note if you're thinking about moving. This 180, I hear it all the time. Oh, I'm counting days. We're going to be in Florida 186 days. Again, not enough. Think about domicile rather than residency. It's important, right? Again, if you're a high income individual, the state income tax is high, right? Because at least it's more than 5% of your gross is going to go to the state. If you move to Florida, they don't have one. Well, that's a big number then for a lot of people. So anyway, I hope that answered your question. If you had any, remember, if you have any questions or to contact me, you want a copy of this checklist that I put together and the definitions of domicile and residency, be happy to send them to you. You can go to opemtax.com, OPEM tax.com. Sign up for my newsletter. It's free. The email newsletter, it's free. So sign up. I talk about this kind of stuff all the time, and you won't want to miss it. So go to opemtax.com, sign up, and then you can contact me through the website, and I'll be happy to send you a copy of this. I'll be happy to send you a copy of this. So thanks so much for joining us. Remember to live free or die. It's not Illinois' motto, but